All right, welcome to today's lesson, Pythagorean Theorem. All right, here's this formula you need to memorize, learn it, love it. All right, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Okay, so it sounds more difficult than it really is. It has to be with a right triangle. So it has to be a right triangle. If it isn't not a right triangle, it's something else you'll do later on, not this year. Okay, so if one side length, they tell us is 3, and one is 4, but they don't give us the third side. We can figure it out just by knowing 2 of the 3. First things first, this right angle symbol basically touches two sides, this side and this side. So the two sides that this right angle symbol touch are called legs. So the two angles that are touching the right angle symbol are legs. The side that's not touching the right angle symbol is called the hypotenuse. So the two sides that's touching the right angle symbol are legs. The side that's not touching is hypotenuse. The hypotenuse is always going to be C. The two legs are going to be A and B. The two legs can be interchangeable. It doesn't matter which. I can say this is A and that's B, but someone else can do the same problem and say this is A and that's B, and they're still going to get the same answer because they're adding A and B. All right, so a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Let's just call this side A. Let's call this side B. And then here's C is what we're looking for. A squared. I'm going to rewrite it. I know you already know what this is, but I'm going to rewrite it. 4 squared equals c squared. So we got to solve 3 squared first. 3 squared is how much? 9. 4 squared is how much? 16. Equals c squared. Alright, 9 plus 16, 25, equals c squared. But it's not what we want because we want to know what c is, not what c squared is. We gotta find the square root. Not divide. We gotta find the square root. So this is when your calculator do come in. Square root of 25, square root of c squared. The square root of c squared is just going to be c. The square root of 25 is 5. Yeah.
So c equals 5?
So c equals 5. Also, this right here is considered a perfect triangle because it's 3, 4, 5. Most of the time you're going to have one of these are going to be decimals, if not all 3 of them. But 3, 4, and 5 are always going to come out to be all whole numbers. All right, let's change the numbers up on us. Let's go with Jenna, give me a side length for A.
5.
All right. Parker, give me a side length for B.
7.
Okay. All right. Okay, now let's find out what C is. So, plugging in, A is 5, B is 10, and equals C squared. All right, first of all, find out what 5 squared is. What's 5 squared?
25.
Yep. What's 10 squared? 100. Equals c squared. 100 plus 25 is 125. All right, now someone with a calculator, find out what the square root of 125 is. It's going to be a decimal. Just stop at in the tenths place. What'd you get, Darnell?
11.18
18, so the 100th place, okay. 11.18. Because you know 121 square root will be 11. So if you're just guessing, you'll be a little bit higher than 11. So in this case, if we round it to the 10th place, it's 11.2. So most times I would just say round these, round the Pythagorean theorem, just do it round it to the nearest 10th. Don't go any further than that. All right, one more example, a little bit different, but still the same formula. What happens if they give you C? Let's just say give you C. Let's go with 13, 12, blank. Okay, they gave us the hypotenuse on this one. They gave us hypotenuse. So we still fill in the blanks of which one we have. But this time we're looking for A. Now sometimes you could say that's A and that's B, it don't matter. We're looking for one of the legs. So I'm just gonna say we're looking for A. So A squared, we don't know. B is 12 squared. And C is 13 squared. All right, so we filled in A, B, and C, the two that we know, and left A blank. Go ahead and do the math. A squared just comes down. What is 12 squared?
144.
144. What about 13 squared?
169.
169. Okay. Now, just like when we did 1 and 2 set equations, we have to get the A by itself. What do we move over to the other side to get the A squared by itself? Minus what?
144.
Get rid of the 144. Minus 144 from both sides. Because the other one was nice, we just added them up and saw this added up to what C squared is. This one, we gotta get rid of the 144 and move to the other side. So those 144s cancel out. A squared. What is 169 minus 144? 25. Now we gotta do the square root. So square root of A squared is just A. And the square root of 25 is what? 5. Now I'll do one more with a triangle looking a little bit different. And see if y'all can figure out which one is the hypotenuse. Because the key is finding the hypotenuse. Okay, so which side is C, the hypotenuse? 10, 18, or blank?
18. 18.
18. C is right here. The hypotenuse is right here. I can't draw, cover up line. And why do we know C is here? Because it's not touching this symbol right here. It's not touching this symbol. So, now, A and B can be interchangeable. It doesn't matter which one A and B. So originally, for the rest of your career, you can just say, I'm looking for B or I'm looking for A. Alright, let's just leave A blank. We got B, we got C. We don't have A. Okay, so fill in the blank, A squared plus B squared is which one, 10 or 18? 10. 10 squared. And then C would have to be 18 squared. Now do the math on it. Bring the A squared down. 10 squared is 18 squared is
324.
Alright, so to find what A squared is first, what do we need to move? The 100. Minus 100 on each side. Yes. A squared is 224. Alright, so what do we do here to find what A is?
What is this thing called? No.
Square root.
Square
Oh, square root, yeah. Find the square root. Which is A, it should be a decimal. We got, Darnell?
14.96.
14.96. Let's just leave it like that. Because we round that to the nearest tenth, it'll be 15. So we'll keep it right there. So A side is 14.96. If that's 10, and that's 18. Good.